A lot has happened in very little time. On the US-China trade war front, Mr. President decided to blacklist some Chinese entities, not allowing US companies to export American products to them. At the same time, he's, after speaking to Turkish President Erdogan, he's decided to remove military from the borders with Syria, allowing tensions to escalate. And of course, we've also had chances of a no-deal Brexit on increasing over 60% after headlines news said that the Prime Minister in the UK won't really be forced to request a Brexit extension at the end of October. So this is adding pressures on the pound dollar. Dollar yen is moving up because there were headline news that the Chinese are willing to take a partial trade, despite the fact that we saw Trump blacklisting some Chinese entities, which adds a lot of complexity just a few days before the trade talks resume on Thursday. While at the same time, we haven't seen yet the risks of a potential escalation between Turkey and Syria really reflecting, having any effect on the markets. I want to go ahead and start with dollar yen. Dollar yen has actually moved up yesterday, as we said. It looks like after completing this is the primary two, right? Primary one, primary two. We're going up for primary three. And in the midst, of course, we have wave one, wave two. Then we are potentially looking for wave 3, 4, and 5. Within this intermediate correction, number 2, down here, we had an ABC correction over here, as you can see, okay? And now we broke the previous high. That seems to suggest that we're going for minor 1, as we had over here, right? And most likely, we're going to turn into a 5-wave impulse to the upside. And expected to break, of course, above 108,500. Of course, the short medium term to the upside would be the 108. If, of course, escalations, we'll have the trade war, trade talks resuming on Thursday. So if the situation continues as most recently, which is that the outlook is really like blurry, because there is risk of not getting anywhere pretty much, not even a partial deal, then we should be really looking at safe haven flows to increasing. That would mean that dollar yen is going to go lower. In this case, what we could have is that could be wave 1 of a bearish move. That could be wave 2. And we will be going for wave 3. Of course, this is one scenario that is bearish. The previous one, which we are more likely to go ahead with and follow, it's the first one, which is seems to be a bit more bullish. On the other pair I wanted to look at today is the pound dollar. Of course, after the Brexit headlines that Mr. Johnson won't be forced to request for an extension. That adds a lot of pressures actually on the, not only just on the parliament, but also on the trading front, because the pound is now under pressure. There is chances of a hard Brexit, if that continues being the case, of course, and Mr. Bojo, as called, not being forced to request for an extension. We have a very similar pattern here on the pound dollar as well. So at the end of this impulsive move to the downside, and now we are in the intermediate wave 1, ended in the intermediate wave 2. Looks like we're going for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, also in the minor level, okay, rather than anything else. If, of course, that is the case, it means that we should really hold prices. I mean, we see like this is like an ABC correction, right? Doesn't look like an impulsive move. So we could get another move to the downside. That pattern, although it looks like it's ended, it could become a bit more complex, okay? Unless if, of course, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which looks a bit, it's possible, but it's still unclear. The current structure is unclear. Despite that, we should be looking at prices to go to that low, to 122.2 or so, and still go ahead with the upside. Now, when I see really the 125.88 in the medium term break to support an upside move, that will give us a 5-wave minor up to complete wave 3 in the immediate. Now, of course, the other case would be that we're falling down, which means that would be an ABC, right? And we're looking at this becoming a 1, wave 2, then 3, 4, and 5, okay? In that scenario, of course, we're looking medium and long term to get below this previous low, the multi-year low, and we should be heading down to 117, 116 levels. So that's for today. If you have your own views or if you have any comments, please feel free to comment, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.